Hi YouTube and welcome to my Cessna 152 startup tutorial. This model is a Just Flight model from their Flying Club series, and I downloaded it off their website. But as far as the startup goes, I'm going to start off by having a quick look around the outside of the aircraft to make sure there's nothing odd about it, and then shall start by checking that all the flying controls are moving correctly, ailerons, rudder, etc., which they seem to be. And then we're going to go inside. I'll be swapping between 2D and virtual cockpit because some things are easy to get to in their respective cockpits. First thing I'm going to do, make sure the parking brake's on, which it is. We can see down the bottom. We're going to make sure the trim is set to the correct place, which is here, takeoff. So this white line should level up with the takeoff label. If not, then you have to flick up and down on this wheel here to change the elevator pitch, elevator trim, should I say. And once that's been checked and made sure it's right, you want to make sure the mixture is full free movement, and then once that's checked you want to leave it in, which is fully rich. Throttle, make sure that's full free movement again, finally leaving it in a position that's slightly in so the engine's got some life when you start it up later. Carburetor heat, you want to make sure that's working properly, full free movement, then leave it in, which will be cold. Master switch, we want to flick that on now. There we go. And then make sure nothing pops out at the bottom here. Certain Cessna 152 models on Flight Simulator will recreate this, some don't. I believe this one doesn't, but it depends what model you do have. But in real life you check to make sure nothing pops out here, otherwise it'll be an aborted start and you have to find out what's going on. Make sure the fuel cock's working, which will be here. On this model it's shift 5. Now this is normally found on the floor between the two seats in the cockpit, and you can see that it is on because this lever matches the representation on the picture. So we'll now get rid of that. Next you want to check the beacons on, which will be this. So once the beacon's on, it allows people outside to realise that you will be starting the plane shortly and that it's not really safe to approach the plane. Primer, this nice little toggle here, or switch here. Press it a few times to prime the fuel in the engine, then leave it as is. And then you want to start the magnetos, which will be like this. This then starts the engine. You can see the HSI, altitude indicator, attitude indicator should I say, is now aligning. Some things have come to life. The engine started nicely, no warning sounds, nothing like that. Then you go back to the 2D cockpit. We're going to set the RPM to 1200, which it pretty much is now, and we're going to make sure everything's doing as it should. So the oil temperature should be rising, which it is slowly. The oil pressure is going from amber to green slowly, which is good. The ammeter over here should be between 0 and 60 to show it is charging. A bit like the car battery for your aeroplane. We also want to make sure there's some suction, which will be in the virtual cockpit. This dial here, that's in the green, so that's good. Back to 2D. Another thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my flaps are working correctly. So I'm going to go around here, look out my window, do it on board, and just have a quick look through the stages. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, then back up. Stage 2, stage 1, fully up. Then we go back to the 2D cockpit. We now want to put our radios on, like so, and then obviously you select the frequency that you need for the airport that you're at, and then from there I would normally get my ATIS information, get my altimeter QNH readings, etc., and then toggle this switch here to change your altimeter. So you're reading the right height. Then we want to go through and just make sure everything is working properly. Back to idle, obviously parking brake's still on. Now from this point you are actually ready to start taxiing, obviously given, if you have been given the right clearances. Before taxiing, obviously depending on what time of day it is, what the weather's like and personal preferences, you would, flick on the extra lights you may need, set your transponder code, and then you're pretty much ready to taxi out. So I hope this has been helpful. If anyone would like a review of the aircraft, then drop me a line and I'll set up a YouTube video for that as well for the channel. Any comments please leave, and feel free to subscribe and follow me on the Twitter. Well, thank you very much. I'll see you soon.